Hi everyone, it's Miss Kelly from the Wakanda Area Library. Today I'm going to show you what we're doing with this month's Virtual Teen Art Kit. This month you'll be making snowflake string art. So in your kit you're going to find a small wooden plaque, some string, some nails, and your template. You're going to need a hammer, some scissors, and some tape. So let's get started. The first step is to cut out the template. That's this top part right here. Leave a little extra room because we're going to tape this down, so make sure you leave a little space around the edges. Okay, and then you can center it where you want it on yours. Guess you can do it. Let's see. Do it like this. Looks pretty good. All right, and then you're going to tape it in position. This is just to hold it still while you nail in your nails, because we're going to nail right through the paper. Make sure you don't use some tape that's going to leave residue on the wood either. I'm going to do all four sides just to make sure it doesn't wiggle around at all. Okay, and take your nails. Be careful, I gave you, I think, a couple extra nails, but try not to lose any. But you could always just, if you do end up being a little shy, you could just adjust your pattern. You can look at, make sure you look at the snowflake. You can always adjust it a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take my hammer and put my nail right in the center. You can kind of push it in a little bit. You can't leave it like that. You're going to have to hold it a little bit. So you're just going to gently, this isn't pounding, so you shouldn't really worry about hurting your finger because you're not pounding it in. You gently want to tap it in. You only want to go down about halfway because you want it in there enough to where it's going to stay in, it won't fall out easily, and that you won't easily pull it off when you're wrapping the string around. If you pull a little hard, you keep pulling the nails out, it gets a little frustrating. But you need to check a little bit, make sure you're doing it straight. If you have some pliers that you can hold your nail with like this, it'll kind of give you a gauge. It'll set like the depth. You'll make sure everyone will be the same then if you do that. I find that I can do pretty good like this, but it's up to you, okay? Remember, it's not going to be any big swinging and pounding. It's just gentle. And if you want, you could even put either a pot holder or a folded towel underneath this, and it kind of muffles the noise a little bit. So you're going to go ahead and do every hole here, or every dot here, until you fill them all in. Do another one. Oops. Definitely easier when you push it in. Okay. Last one in. Make sure it's the same height as all the other ones. Go back and give it even a little tap that needs it. Looks pretty good. I did try and keep them as straight as I could when I was putting them in here. Give them a little wiggle if they need to. All right, now we're going to take the paper off. So you're going to peel off your tape. And so what you're going to try and do is peel this off carefully, because if you rip it up fast, the nails will come right out. So you can even actually see how I'm holding the nails down as I'm pulling it off. You're done with this once this template's off, so we don't need this anymore. So we can just take this off. Better to have to go back and pull those little pieces out than accidentally pull any nails out. But check if your nails are that wiggly that they'll easily pull out. Give them an extra little tap and get them down in there. Okay. You might have to go back even with some tweezers to get those little pieces out, because some of them are going to be caught under the edge of the nail. Go. You can see too also the wood, I put a light stain on it, but if you wanted to paint it or do something different to it before you put your nails in, that's entirely up to you. I just didn't want to just leave it the raw wood. You can change it up if you want a little bit. Okay. Get this last little bit out. All right, so once you get all this out, you're going to need to use the other half of your template, which is going to be your pattern for the snowflake. Out of here. There we go. Okay. Use my little needle nose to get those out. Last little bits. And I looked from the side and kind of tried to check to make sure all my nails were about the same depth in. And I kept them as straight as I could, but again, I mean, as long as they're pretty upright, it's not going to make a difference when you're putting it in. The string is going to hide that. Okay, you can go back and get those little tiny pieces. Okay, let's clear all this out of the way. All right, it's time for your pattern and your string. So to make it easier for me, I found one of the points at the end of the snowflake here, and I'm going to take my string and I'm going to make a little loop. Now, this is when you're going to have to do some planning. You're going to have to decide how you want your snowflake to look, because I'm going to show you 2 different things you can do. So I'm going to start at one of these points, and I'm going to slide that loop over and then pull it tight. Okay. So now you can do this. You can go, and you have to wrap it around, hold your finger over the top of the nail and wrap it around. You kind of want to keep it in place like that with the top of your finger to keep it from sliding off the top. And you can just do it like that. If you decide you like just one like that, you can do like that. And then you're going to move to the next one and swirl it around and go down to the next one. But I like to have the double because I think it makes it look a little bit more thicker and you get more of a nice look there. So I'm going to go around and come back down this guy. Now you can see I've gone all the way around. Every time I go around a nail, I'm going to go all the way around the head like that because I want it to stay in position. Okay, so now I'm going to come up here. I'm following this pattern, so I'm doing this branch right here. Now I'm going to do out over here. So like I said, it really helps for your stability and to keep it in position. Keep your finger on the top of that nail as you go by, then double wrap, and then go back down. Okay, and then I'm going to go down 1. Just keep checking your pattern so that you kind of don't get lost where you're at. You can see I'm right here. So now we're going to see how it branches out like this. So I'm going to go up to the side here. And be careful, because if you go like this, you're going to get a crossed look. So try and not cross over. Always go in the same direction so you don't get the crossed look like that. And go around. Okay, and then we're going to go down to this guy. Okay, and then you're just going to keep going and connect your pattern all the way around. You really kind of have to think about it because you don't want to go over here and here. You don't want to have like a random string connecting from here to here. So you have to kind of think about it. So it's like, now I'm here. Now I'm going to need to go up and do this part of the snowflake and go over here. Okay. But if you see how, oops, and keep my finger on top. Also, not only am I keeping my finger on top, I'm kind of pulling the string to keep it taut the whole time. So if it does pop up, if you got your finger here, you're only going to lose part of it. You're not going to lose the whole area. You can just go back. There you go. Whoops, get my finger on there. Also, be careful. If you pull too hard, you could pull your nail right out. So you don't want to do that. So you're just going to pull gently. Okay, so I'm on my last one right now. I'm going to go around the middle one more time. Then go back up to this one. And if it's getting kind of thick, so you can always just push down a little bit if you need more room, but it's been really important to make sure I've kept my finger on top of that so it doesn't come out. Also be careful to not snag it on other ones because you can fray your string a little bit. Okay, then I go back around the middle again. Now mine's gotten pretty thick, so I'm just going to pull it really tight. See, and it's tucked under there really tightly, and then I'm going to come in here and trim it off. Make sure you only cut this one piece you want to trim off, not any of your other. And this is, at this point, you can use some glue and tuck that last little piece under there if you want, because you're going to have a little end. These strings fraying a little bit. There we go. So you want to tuck that little piece under. This is where you can use some glue and just tuck that little piece under. This glue looks white when it goes on, but it'll dry clear. Okay, just to keep it under there. All right. And then this one we tied at the beginning, so we can just snip it. And if you get a little tail, you can also glue that down. There you go. There's your snowflake. I hope you guys have fun. Keep an eye out for next month's virtual teen art. Bye now.